is fun for me, my mentor, my Buddha, my brother from another mother, Rollie Johnson, Fargo Famous, Rollie Johnson joining us. My name's Erik Hatch. Excited to chat with Rollie. Dude, we have a lot of history together.
We got way back. Hatch was the first kid I met at First Lutheran, pain in my butt, but we have become great friends over the years, worked together, played together.
That was 30 years ago, Rollie.
Close to 95.
Yeah, that was 30 years ago, and now you have continued to be a staple in this community, showing love, impacting people.
We're trying.
But you have a very weird job. How do you explain what do you do, Rollie? What exactly do you do?
Well, I came in 95 to First Lutheran. That's where I met you for many, many, many years. So I do that. I lead worship, preach, a lot of youth ministry, kind of back in the youth ministry game. And then I have a little private business where I do retreats in the schools, which I hired you for many years. In fact, a couple people asked about you today.
Oh,
older people that had it when they were at Lincoln long ago. And and so we do retreats in the schools. They're called compassion retreats, and we're trying to get kids to look at how they treat one another. You know, the schools it's just a rough place to be these days, especially public schools. And well, I should say private as well. And we want to make a difference. We want people to look at how they treat each other. So yeah.
Rare does someone get into youth ministry and stay in youth ministry. What is it, 18 months on average? I did it about a decade.
Yeah.
You're now in 40 years.
Yeah, 40 plus.
What is wrong with you?
I'm missing a few. I had a frontal lobotomy, and that helped a lot. Yeah. And no, it's just, I've always felt like it's my groove, and I've had plenty of opportunities to move on, but I just like what I do, and I feel rewarded. And First Lutheran's been a good place. I've evolved over time, kind of changed job descriptions, 100 different job titles, and they've allowed me to do the outside stuff, you know, public speaking, corporate retreats, and then these school retreats. So,
Rollie, you've seen a lot of changes in this community over the almost 30 years that you've been here.
Yeah.
What is some of the changes that you have loved about this place?
We're sitting here in this little bunker downtown that you bought and remodeled. Downtown has changed radically. It's a cool place to be. I mean, come down on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, any time of the year. It's hip happening, hopping place to be. All the restaurants, cool stores. So I love that. In the schools where I work, what I've seen is diversity has just flooded. There's almost every school, you know, like where I was at today at Ed Clapp, every color on the spectrum, every nationality, every language. Or go to Madison, there's like 30 languages spoken there. So we've become an integrated, non-segregated community, and I love that. That brings, you know, people from Nepal and Somalia and all these cultures melting in here, and they all bring their cool backgrounds, culture, language. So those are the big changes I've seen.
Rollie, when you travel, and you get to travel everywhere, whether it be for work or pleasure, your wife is from Mexico.
Yep.
You speak fluent Spanish now.
Semi-fluent.
Semi-fluent.
Spanglish.
Whether it's going back home to Minneapolis or down to Mexico or anywhere else, people probably say, well, why Fargo?
Yeah.
How do you explain this place to people?
Yeah. Well, I originally took the call to First Lutheran in 95, and they said, come for 2 or 3 years and see what happens. And we got into it, and things took off and got exciting, and so we just stayed. And then I've had 2 or 3 offers to go back to bigger churches or other ministries in the Twin Cities or Bismarck or other places. And you know, when you pray about it and talk with your mentors and elders, it just always felt like First Lutheran was still the right place to be. And I've had other offers in town here too. But it's just been a great place to raise family. Like when Karina was in 8th grade, she's 30-something now, we had a big giant offer for a mega church in the cities. And it would have been a great move for me, but it wasn't for Karina. This was her community, her people. And so we stayed, and I've been grateful. It's a great place to raise family. That's what I like about it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Final question, Rollie. You're obviously a man of multiple talents. You've had opportunities to go anywhere, and you've continued to stay in Fargo. Mm-hmm. So why Fargo?
Just great place to be, great place for family, healthy. I love the clean air here. I'm an outdoorsman. I wish we had more, you know, big woods, mountains, terrain, topography stuff, but just in terms of a place to live life and do family, this is an awesome place. Yeah, it is.
I love it, and I love you. Folks, we'll catch you next time.